Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by the last here in New Hampshire, Manchester, head of a massive card on Friday night at the SNH Arena. I'm joined by Reis. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well. I've got to ask about what's around your neck. Can you show the camera? What are we rocking with there? Is there like a story behind this?
So this is what we call dallies or medallions. It's Native American. I'm Seekonke Wampanoag from the Seekonk Wampanoag tribe. It's Native American Heritage Month during the month of November, but this is just something that we wear. This is an everyday piece. This is boxing gloves, and these are 7 eagle feathers for the 7 generations on the horizon, and this is going clockwise for good luck, and these lightning bolts are for good energy. And these colors are just, vibrant like my personality. So it's just something we like to wear.
I'll say that is really cool. It is really cool. You mentioned that, and I know that Cougar didn't speak about this before. Obviously, we're going to talk about Friday night and the tournament, etc. But I know that your heritage means a lot to you, as everyone's heritage does to them. But you do a lot of work in and around your community, supporting women as well. I've read a little bit about that. Do you just want to sort of tell us a bit about that, because there's some extraordinary stories?
So, I have a platform and a voice to use, especially being an athlete and having people. We don't have a lot of representation as far as Native American or mixed indigenous or even Cape Verdean or black and indigenous. We're just a really missed and underrepresented group of people. So I do what I can to try to bring awareness to different epidemics and different issues in Native countries, such as missing and murdered indigenous women, the pipelines that are being drilled through, sacred Native lands, also with the residential school children being uncovered in unmarked graves from residential schools. There's just so much that needs and should be on mainstream media. So I just do what I can to bring awareness, whether it's, it's talking to you and explaining to people, or having these conversations, wearing different colors, having different things on my shorts, or just going to different reservations or communities and just kind of giving back and telling my story and kind of hearing their stories as well. And, just showing them that we're not forgotten. We're still here. We're still thriving and striving, because, the genetic genocide and the depression and the that feeling of not being worthy of anything good and not having that the underrepresentation in mainstream media, it's kind of depressing when you don't see a face that looks like yours on the news, in movies, in cartoons, on video games, in sports, anything, I just want to make sure that they know we're still here.
I mean, I know nothing will beat the feeling of getting your hand raised on Friday night and knowing that you're close to becoming undisputed champion, but it sounds like you're coming from a point of view where it almost means just as much to you that you can do these sort of things outside of boxing as well, because like I said, when you've got a platform, essentially you are in a position of privilege that you can throw attention onto these issues, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. People ask me what keeps me going, and obviously, the belts are great, the money's great, but I'll give you every check and every belt I've ever had to keep getting those emails from different kids or different parents to tell me, thank you for being you, and I saw you fight on HBO. My child is mixed indigenous as well, and they were suicidal, but they saw you and got hope. I get countless amounts of emails and inboxes from these kids, and just is so happy that they have someone that looks like them, and it's not something that's negative. So for that, until I have air in my lungs, I will always do what I can, it means, in the boxing world, it means a lot to be undisputed, of course. You know what I mean? I'm not stupid. I'm not going to take punches in the face and not get paid and get some belts, but it's so much more. It's way bigger than me. It's something that I can't even explain. It's not, I'm honored to be the one to do this for my people.
Well, it's a brilliant story, and like you said about getting the emails and people seeing a face like yours on TV, it's inspiring stuff, so that is really good to hear. The boxing now, is it sort of, when did it, I know this is a tournament that was made possible by Eddie, and you're literally 2 fights away from undisputed champion, but has it sort of clicked in now that you are genuinely 2 fights away from making groundbreaking history?
It has clicked in, and it's one of those things where I've been professional for 13 years. I've been on multiple different stages of all kind of calibers, from the halls to the huge fights on HBO, but it's not a nerve-wracking thing. I'm not nervous. I'm not, I'm excited.
No nerves? I would be bricking.
No, that's what I mean. It's not a nervous of I'm scared. It's I feel like I'm relieved, like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be. I keep saying that, like it's finally happened when it needed to happen. I could have been undisputed in 2018 when I fought Cecilia, and that fight is controversial, but it did happen exactly with the way it needs to happen. So I think that things always happen exactly when and how they're going to happen for you, not to you, and I'm right where I'm supposed to be at this moment, so I'm going to seize the moment.
Will it make it even sweeter if you were to become undisputed? Obviously, I know you're not looking past Friday night, but if you were to win this tournament and become undisputed champion, does it make it even sweeter knowing that, you talk about the Cecilia Brackhouse fight and there's defeats that you've had in the past? Will it make it even sweeter that off the back of things like the Cecilia fight that you finally achieved the undisputed?
Absolutely, because I'm 13 years as a pro now, almost. Over 13 years. And like I said before, people, well, usually on their way out, and if you look at the career I've had, I should have kind of just said, I'm just going to hang it up now. I'm going to kind of just go work, whatever. But I think I've had a revamp in my career from 2018 when I fought Cecilia. The world finally knew how good I was, and I finally realized how good I was, and I accepted it, and I was actually able to work off that and get a revamp in my career, so I'm thankful for it. I'd be an idiot if I wasn't training hard and taking this serious and, thinking that being undisputed was like the pinnacle of my entire career. For all the people who said, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't be shit, she's not going to do this, and how, by other people's expectations, I'm not supposed to be this successful, but there's so much more success to be had, so I'm excited.
Are you coming at it from an angle when you said about you could have just hung the gloves up? Was there ever a point in your career where that crossed your mind and you thought, what, maybe undisputed isn't something that will happen in my career?
Every fucking morning when that alarm goes off and I go, why do I do that? No. Of course, boxers, especially being in the game as a pro as long as I have, there's been times where I've considered to hang them up so many times. Losses or not getting paid for fighting for the WBC belt when I won the middleweight. There's just... Women's boxing has come a long way, and we still have a long way to go. But just boxing in general, I wake up every morning like, why the hell did I do this to myself? But it makes it all worth it in the end.
Well, you've got a massive opportunity in that. The tournament starts, well, from your perspective, on Friday night against Jessica Camara. I heard you say you've commentated on a couple of her fights. You know a lot about her, so you're familiar with Jessica and her style and what she brings. And can we just expect fireworks?
Absolutely. She's gotten so much better. She's gotten better and better, and she wants this. She comes up to a heavier weight class, and she took the fight, and she's taking this opportunity when others haven't, So I know she's training hard. She comes forward. She throws a lot of punches. I used to expect a really busy fight from both of us, and, I'm excited to have some fun in there. It's not work to me. This is fun, so I just expect a really good fight.
We spoke a bit about, just a minute ago, about your career and the ups and downs and that, and you talk about having fun. Is it easy to lose perspective of actually enjoying it because you enjoy boxing? You're a professional boxer at the top of the sport. Is it easy to lose perspective of actually sucking it up and going, you know what, I'm going to kind of enjoy this?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm actually having so much fun. I don't ever talk shit, build up to the fight. I'm usually like, it's an honor to be here, but I want to fuck her up, you know what I mean? I'm going to talk like that because I'm having some fun, and I've done all the work. I've done so much work up until this point, and if you work so hard and forget to have fun, you know what I mean? Boxing is a game. You have to relax. You can't fight angry. You can't fight tense because you're going to wear yourself out. Same thing. You got to have some fun, man, and that's just me knowing that I know I did all the work, so what else is there to do? It's just to have some fun, man. Of course I'm going to take it serious, but, talk a little shit. Tell her I'm going to fuck her up. Tell her I want to beat the shit out of her, something. But at the end of the day, she's a great person, great fighter. I have the utmost respect for her, but I have goals. I want to, be undisputed, so I have to make a statement. So, talk a little shit, make it fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, we prefer it when you say you're going to fuck her up because it's quite good for our headlines. Essentially, we love that shit. I do want to talk about Chantelle Cameron, her and Mary McGee. That was a brilliant fight. Ebbed and flowed and loads of action. When you were watching that, could you watch it from the perspective of, I can potentially fight one of these and study it, or is it just, I've still got to fight, so let me just watch it as a fan and just sort of relax around it?
I had 3 different angles. I was watching it from a DAZN broadcaster. Then I was like, I might fight one of these girls, so I got to kind of study, but then I'm a fan. They put on a huge fight, and they headlined a card that could have got destroyed. The whole heavyweight fight got taken off the fight, and they got headlined, and they lived up to the hype. They really did a great job, so I was just proud to see that great fight as a female fighter, and my colleagues, regardless of when I'm going to fight, whatever, we're going to punch each other in the face, it's all good, but it's 3 different perspectives. And of course I was taking notes. I was, as a coach, number one, because I'm always looking at things as a coach perspective, and as people make mistakes, look at things that they do good. There was all kinds of different perspectives, but I enjoyed it as a spectator. I enjoyed it as a somebody watching what we have to go to the drawing board and do for the person I'm going to fight. And then from a broadcast standpoint, they gave me the mic, and I'm looking yeah, that was a great round. But I'm looking I want this to keep going. You know what I mean? It was fun, though. It was fun, and big ups to both of them. They put on a hell of a fight, man.
Obviously, Chantelle Cameron will meet the winner of yourself and Jessica on Friday night. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. You've been to England, you've seen what it was like at Headingley. If it is you and it's Chantelle, England, yeah?
I want to fight. UK is the one place I want to fight so bad. I love you guys out there. You obviously, it's like my second home out now. I've been there 3 times this year. I love the atmosphere. I love the fans out there. I love the respect that you guys give boxing. So I would love to fight out there. However, speaking from a boxing fighter's perspective, I mean, you know, Chantelle has a comfort of her own home fighting in the UK. So if she was a real champion, she'd fight in the US is what I'm saying. You know, it makes sense. But I still want to fight in the UK. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But, you know, again, to make it interesting and juicy, to talk a little shit, you a real champ, yo, you gonna fight on US soil, you know what I'm saying? No, whatever. I have managers for that, so we'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. Kaylee, thank you very much for giving me some of your time. Look forward to seeing you do your thing on Friday night. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.